Hi, I'm Ridhya Raj, and you're watching the author interview. Books have this magical power to take you on a journey. And today we're delving into the journey behind historical romance author Simi Ramdutt. Welcome, Simi.
Thank you so much, Raj. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh, I am so excited. Now, historical romance is such a gorgeous genre. But before we delve into the hexagons, let's go a little into the woman behind all of the characters, all of the rakes, all of the drama. Where did this journey of writing begin for you?
It began about 10, 11 years ago now when I was trying to have my baby. Um, the thought of having multiple births at the time I was going for fertility treatments, and it just fascinated me. And I would have loved to have twins or triplets. I wouldn't have been able to manage with twins or triplets, but and that's when the stories actually came to me of the hexagons. And prior to that, I read a lot of historical romance in my late teenage years and early 20s. Then I actually stopped reading it for a long time. And I always used to say, I can write this, I can write this, I can write this. And then when the stories actually came to me, I just knuckled down and started writing it. But it did take 10 years to actually write the first two novels.
Okay, I first of all love the confidence and self-belief, and I would encourage absolutely anybody who enjoys books and wonders like, hey, I could do that. Do it because we want to read it. We absolutely want to
Absolutely.
read it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, let's go into the hexagons. Historical romance is having a moment right now. And what I love about your books in particular is that you are a South African author. You are of the South Asian diaspora, and here you are having woven a world of fantasy. Walk me through what this has been like for you.
Um, the journey itself into publishing a book has been absolutely daunting. Before this, I never intended to publish, just by the way. I wrote the stories for myself. My
Okay.
best friend and sisters read it, and they were like, "This is really good. We think you can publish." And I can put it out there to all of my readers. I am a sore loser. Let me tell you, when we played games and things like that, I hate losing. So I did submit to one of the publishing companies, and they came back saying, "No, this is not what they're looking for at the moment." And look, I really took it personally,
Of course.
and then I said, I was actually distraught. And then somebody told me about self-publishing, and looked at it. And I said, okay, let's have a look at it. Let's just self-publish. I can't take any more rejection. And that's how I ended up going into becoming an indie author. And the journey has been daunting because I knew absolutely nobody in the industry. I knew no authors, I knew no publishers, I knew no distributors. And once I actually got there and started getting support from fellow authors, and I will definitely mention Irini Flatman and Anoshi Saretsky. They
Yeah.
have been two people that have supported me in the industry from day one. And having that kind of support, my Desi sisters
Yes.
has been absolutely phenomenal. But also support from people or organizations like ROSA, the Romance Writers Organization of South Africa. I met absolutely amazing authors. Also, my business partner, Riley Sloan. We launched a events company, a bookish events company. So, meeting people within the industry has helped to make things less daunting and less scary and help you build your confidence to do things that you wouldn't ordinarily have done before.
What I really love, Simi, is there seems to be a theme here for me, right? Which is women supporting women because you had this dream, you wrote it. The woman in your life said, publish. When you were on that journey, you found other authors who powerful women, I feel, are giving you that support that you need, encouraging you along the way. And I absolutely adore the fact that this has been an experience of strong women supporting other strong women. So that for me is absolutely phenomenal. And you've actually taken this experience and implemented it further in terms of a sense of community for South African writers. Tell me more about that.
I know how hard my journey has been, just to get my books into the hands of readers. And this is not about being a South African Indian writer. It's just been an indie author in South Africa. When the world looks at us, they don't realize the amazing talent we have here. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about all of the South African authors that I've read and that I've met in the last year. Um, when you pick up one of their books, we are right up there with the number one bestsellers in the world. But
Absolutely.
people don't seem to recognize us as authentic, genuine writers. And that's where this stems from me wanting to help other authors and get their work out there. First of all, it's an expensive business being an indie author. So any support that doesn't cost anything means the world to us. So if you're an author and you're getting some traction, I don't see why I shouldn't be paying it forward. Even if it's the same genre, it doesn't matter. Just pay it forward and let the world know, hey, we South African writers, we are here and we are with the best of them.
Absolutely. And what I've also noticed is that the South African indie authors are on the platforms that people are looking at. You are on Amazon Kindle, you're on Amazon as well. All of the apps and devices that are used for ebooks, our South African indie writers are there. So it's not even a problem of South
We're there.
African writers being hidden.
No, no, we absolutely there. Obviously, we get less exposure being an indie author. If you just search my book, for example, on Amazon, it won't come up. So, it's little things like that. You have to make sure your links are right and promote the link so that people get to your book. Because on those massive platforms, whether it's Draft Digital or Amazon, it's the stuff that makes them money that they actually want to push and promote. So therein lies again one of the reasons why I want to push and promote South African authors. And like I said, it doesn't matter what genre. I just want people to know we are here and we are bloody brilliant.
I agree with you completely. You are brilliant, and I I don't feel that it's a false claim to say that indie authors are right up there with the bestsellers on international lists because the caliber of writing is phenomenal, and you've got to go through that whole situation of self-doubt and imposter syndrome and difficulty in getting published. So you've really worked and scrutinized and criticized your own work to such an extent that nobody else should be doing that, in my opinion. And I want to also talk about your books specifically. There are two right now that are on promo, but okay, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Let's first talk about the books. Let's talk about those two that you've got published.
The two books I have published is the first two in the series. Obviously, it can be read as individual novels, but it is part of the series. The first book is The Journey of Love. The Journey of Love, really, I wanted to bring our heritage into it a little bit, but I didn't want to overwhelm the book. It is about a soon-to-be duke whose father arranges a marriage for him to an Indian princess. So he hightails off to India to go and actually get rid of this arranged marriage. It had nothing to do with her being an Indian princess. It had
It's just
everything to
a
do with the fact
marriage.
that he was living exactly just a marriage. He didn't want to get married. He was living his best life,
Great.
sowing his wild oats and
Through and
just
through.
living his life as he is. No family responsibilities. So he actually takes one of his, he doesn't, oh, well, they don't know they're brothers. And one of his brothers goes off with him to India to get rid of this princess. but like from the moment he sees her, he is just okay. He decides, okay, he's still going to have her, but he still doesn't want to marry her. But lo and behold, fate has other plans for him. So that's the story of James and Lizzie. Oh, her name is Elizabeth. Her nickname is Lizzie. And their story about, just really navigating an arranged marriage, coming back to England, uh, and and really getting married and really starting to live their life.
I think what's really interesting about this, Simi, is the fact that even though this is a historical romance, there are probably many people right now who will relate to this, where they have an idea that marriage is an absolute no-no. And then if you were to encounter someone that you connect with, you've actually got to work through your own mind and the walls you've put up around your heart to navigate through this. So I think that it's something that is so relatable. Let's go to book number two.
Book number two is typically English. I can put that out there. We have George, who has just become the Duke of Beaufort, and uh, his father left the dukedom in dire straits. But his
Oh,
father was going to marry a young bride, rich as rich can be. Um, and George decides, well, his father left it in this state. He's going to marry her. Somebody called him a twat waffle in one of the reviews. So this twat waffle decides he's going to marry her, and he doesn't even pitch up for the wedding ceremony. So he has a representative marry them, paid off the priest, and then he has her brought to
oh yes.
the estate.
Back then it was a signed contract. You didn't even have to be present.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So she was very impressed because she had no intentions of becoming a duchess or even a lady at any point. She was super rich, very well brought up because of her father's wealth. And she just wanted to have fun. She was 17 years old. She just wanted to have fun. And here she is now married to a duke. She didn't even have a come out party. Um, and she gets there. The Duke doesn't even greet her at the door. Then she goes inside and she was wedded, bedded, and abandoned on the same day. So that's the story of love changes everything. So I don't want to give too much away about why, she was abandoned on that day, but um, it's really the story about how she navigated this first couple of months without him, with the support of our brothers, and that gets revealed in my Christmas novella, which will be released next year in maybe November. So, but yeah, so that's the story of George and Eva.
Simi, you have such a talent for weaving a story. You know exactly how to hook a reader and reel them in. That is something that I firmly, firmly believe. And because of this talent that you have been nominated for multiple awards. And this is a really big deal.
In the in awards. It is a huge deal. And there were some awards that I even got nominated for that actually didn't fit the description of the book, which we had to tell them to please remove. But it is actually an amazing award, or awards to get nominated for, the Indie Ink Awards. And it really, I mean, go check them out. Raj, I'm sure you'll pop the link in,
I will.
it's really recognizing there are hundreds and hundreds of books that have been nominated in different categories. You don't have to go and look at my book. Look at all of the books in this Indie Awards that authors have been nominated, and really just show your support. It's an honor just to be nominated, but obviously it's even better if you're getting through to the next rounds. But there's so many good authors out there, so many good books. I encourage everyone just to go out there, show your support for all the different authors that have been actually nominated.
And there are many genres in this awards, in the nominations, and I think it's something to be proud of because in certain categories, there's more than 200 books and authors.
Some have about 400
Yeah,
in some categories. Yeah, it's
that
amazing, absolutely amazing.
it really tells you that there are so many talented indie authors out there. Tell me about the categories that you've been nominated in, even the ones that you had to ask to be removed from. Tell me about these categories.
Um, well, the categories that I had to ask to be removed from one was the audiobooks. Obviously, I'd love to have my audiobook out there. Again, indie author, it's expensive, so I know that's I mustn't keep saying that, but it does because you pay for everything. So,
It's a
but I am looking
forthcoming
at it.
attraction.
It's a forthcoming attraction, definitely. What I've been nominated for, I think the biggest nomination for me there is Writing the Future That We Need, which is Asian representation by an Asian author. There's only 11 of us that actually got nominated in that category.
Yeah,
So for me, I mean, if you don't vote for anything else, have a look at that if they've read the book, and just that would be a big win for Asian people, for indie people that are of color. And I also have to put it out there, Arini Flatman, also a South African Indian author, has been nominated in the same category. So I'm very, very proud of her as well. For both of us, that's quite a big thing to have been nominated in that category.
absolutely.
And the rest is cute. I mean, prettiest book interior, best friendship, best writing, light read. So those are lovely to have. But I think the one that's most impactful is Writing the Future.
I think that this ties back in with what we said about how indie authors are right up there with the global bestsellers. Because for one book to have multiple nominations like this, it tells you that it's catering to so many different aspects that readers enjoy. And again, I must commend you on the fact that you are always cheering on your fellow writers, your fellow women, your fellow indie authors, and I love that. I absolutely love that because there is enough room for all of us to succeed. One of the things that you're known for, Simi, is your book mail. Let's go a little
Book
bit
me.
into let's go a little bit into the process of creating book mail because yours is definitely a cut above the rest.
Oh, thank you so much. I do not do any of this myself. It takes a village to actually help you, whether it's your family or your friends. And in this case, I have to consider, I message her at all times of the night and say, "Oh, I have this idea." And then she'll think about the idea and say, "Oh, what about this?" And really, it's my vision with her creativity that she puts into a physical box. And that's, I love everything. I love receiving nice stuff. If I received a box, I would be happy if I received a box like that. So it's really something I want to receive. And that would really make me happy receiving it. And if it included a book, then I mean, that's just an absolutely perfect gift. And that's where it really, it's about what I would love to receive as a person, and working with Jessica, from Mia Bella, to make those visions into a reality. That's where, well, that's how it's done. Let me just say say that.
Now, Simi, to any young woman of color, what would you say if there is a passion to write? How would you advise her?
I would advise them to start writing. Nobody needs to know that you're writing. You need to make sure that you put pen to paper or fingers to your typewriter, as the case may be. Very few of us actually write anymore. But you need to start putting your ideas down. Do not forget them, because an idea that you have at 3 o'clock in the morning, WhatsApp yourself. That's what I do. I WhatsApp myself so I don't forget, because in that moment, the idea is so good, but when you revisit it like later on, you're missing aspects of it. So please be good to yourself. That is my message to them. Be good to yourself. If it is a dream that you have, make sure that you start working on that dream now. Every little thing in life takes work. It takes effort, it takes time. And if you don't actually put in the work, the effort, and the time, you can't expect anything to be handed to you.
Yeah.
So start your journey now. Don't wait and say, don't put it off, don't procrastinate. Start it now. Because at the end of the day, when you have a product that is at some level of completion, you're able to then take it and show people, take it to a publisher and say, this is what I've done. You'll be able to pitch your work. But if you haven't started writing, you're not going to get those opportunities to pitch your work. You can pitch an idea, but people don't want to see an idea. They want to see words on paper. And
Yes.
that is my advice for young writers out there. Put your words onto paper and make sure that you get to a point where you can actually pitch it to people who are willing to support you.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Simi. And to everyone that is watching, I would encourage you to not only read the hexagons and follow Simi online, but go ahead and vote. Scroll through all of the authors, cast your vote, and give support to people who are being so vulnerable, sharing their creations with the world. This has been the author interview. I'm Radhia Raj, and of course, this is Simi Ramdutt. Thank you, Simi.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj. If I could just add
Of
something,
course.
you are amazing support to the authors and the community at large, not just to authors, to everybody. Your interviews are amazing to give exposure to people who wouldn't ordinarily get exposure. So thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Just make me cry, Simi.